UFC Fight Night, Roman Dolidze versus Marvin Vettori 2 took place last night. Pretty wonky card start to finish. There was some good fights, there were some bad fights, there were some weird finishes, some upsets. There was a bit of everything on this one. There was even 2 back-to-back Kimura locks, possibly first time ever. I went 6-7 on my picks, pretty bad. Betting wise, I went 6.5 units up, so I profited. But let me recap the whole card, starting with the first fight, going all the way up to the main event. As I said, upsets galore. The first one wasn't actually an upset, though. It was because we were all on the underdog of Yunzi Dubin. Listen, I stand by this pick all day. I still would pick Yunzi Dubin. If they ran it back, I think. Listen, to be fair, she was 3-2, coming off of 2 losses in a row against a 6-0 girl who just knocked out like a good prospect in Shannon Clark. I stand by that pick. I think there was good money to be made if Dubin ended up getting the upset. Of course, she didn't, so it looks bad. It looks bad in hindsight. I'm an idiot. I'm all these things, but I stand by the underdog pick of Yunzi Dubin all day. But she couldn't get it done. She got knocked out in the first round. So good win, Carly Judice. Maybe we have to start giving her some credit. Next fight, we have Josiane Nunes versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Incredible round 1 knockout win for Priscilla Cachoeira with a massive uppercut, shades of Justin Gaethje. Not fully shades of Justin Gaethje, because Cachoeira does have some uppercut KO wins in the past on her record. But good win for her. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting a KO this early on from either of them. And, just incredible win for Priscilla Cachoeira. Gets a performance of the night bonus. So good job to her. And then we have Andre Lima versus Daniel Perez. Andre Lima looked really good in this fight. No fouls. Clean victory from him. So got to applaud him there. In the past, he's been fouling a lot in his UFC tenure. So just to come out and have a nice highlight reel win over a guy like Daniel Perez, he made look really bad. Ended up getting a submission win in the 3rd round. Good win for him. Maybe we'll have to start giving this guy some credit. Maybe a ranked opponent. Next fight, Stephanie Luciano versus Sam Hughes. Split decision win for Sam Hughes. Really close fight. I was saying when I was watching, I was saying Luciano looked like she was punching the air. Like she was slow motion punching that entire fight. I don't think Luciano ever was going to be that good. I thought she was going to get past Sam Hughes, but I guess I was wrong. Back to the drawing board, Luciano. Maybe do some explosivity drills, because you don't have a good... you were punching in slow motion, Luciano. Anyways, next fight up the card. Another upset. Carlos Vera versus Josias Musasa. Who saw this one coming? I talked very badly against Carlos Vera in my breakdown video. Even when the fight started, this dude threw a somersault out. I'm losing my fucking mind. I am losing my mind when this guy throws a somersault out. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? This guy is terrible. He's all this, all that. He ends up winning. He hits a head kick on Josias Musasa, knocks him to the mat, and finds the back and gets a rear naked choke over Josias Musasa. There is something to say on the Contender Series. He was getting taken down a few times, but he was getting up pretty fast. So I thought he would be able to get past his Carlos Vera. But I guess Carlos Vera, he's rounding his game out at the ripe age of 40 years old. So next fight, I guess it's not Waldo yet, but Su Young Yu, AJ Cunningham. Su Young Yu got it done, what he was going to do. This is how I saw the fight going. Boring decision win for Su Young Yu. I'm not going to spend more time on this one. Next fight we have Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ryan Spann. Waldo Cortez Acosta, man. People forget, man. This guy, he's a marauder, man. This guy, right when you think that he's no danger on the feet, he'll club you with a... No, that's not entirely accurate. He was beating Ryan Spann up on the feet most of this fight. He was landing the more powerful shots. They'd be swinging out range, and then Waldo would connect with a overhand right, and it's like, oh, okay. That's why he's the favorite, because of those power shots. And eventually, it just was too much for Ryan Spann. I think he got buckled at one point in maybe the second round. And then Waldo, close to the end of the round, they get back up to their feet, a little bit of a scramble. Waldo, what did he hit him with that knocked him down? I can't even remember what the shot was that knocked him down, but he knocked Ryan Spann down. It might have been against the fence, then he TKO'd him. Good win for Waldo Cortez Acosta. I was called crazy, man. They said my leg was the bad leg of the sparring sessions parlay. Anyways, we'll get to the one that broke the camel's back there. But next fight, we're moving on to the next fight. We got Sungwoo Choi versus Kevin Vallejos. Easiest money in my fucking life. Plus, listen, Vallejos minus 500 on the money line, or you get him round 1 KO plus 240. Easy fucking money. Come on, get your money. I sent that out as a bet. The round 1 KO, I bet massive amounts of money on that one. Made a huge amount from that. A little bit of a sweat. You know, there was like 2 minutes left in the first round there, so it was getting close. But Vallejos got it done, man. This was never going long. So good win for Vallejos. And then, oh man, Brenson Ribeiro, who I said might give Dyer some troubles. You know, he has a 9-inch reach advantage over the guy. I said it could cause some troubles. I was talked out of it by a few other people who they were so high on Dyer Nurgazai. They're like, no, this guy's just going to knock out Brenson Ribeiro. I'm like, I don't know, man. He's a funky guy. He's a tall guy, long reach. That's enough to trip up any striker, you know? And he ends up getting the win over Dyer Nurgazai. Was it a head kick? It might have been a head kick he landed on Dyer, but he ends up knocking him down, and he got a submission win. Oh, no, they were scrambling on the ground a bit. This is what happened. It was a Kimura lock. Dyer already got knocked down by Brenson Ribeiro in the first round. Round 2 comes along. I'm like, yeah, Dyer's going to turn the pressure up. He's gonna win this one. Ribeiro gets him to the mat, and they scramble around. Who the fuck has ever tapped to a Kimura lock? Ever. In the history of UFC, who has ever tapped to a Kimura? Like, it just never happens. And Brenson Ribeiro gets a Kimura lock on Dyer, and I'm like, okay, well, he's going to use this to get top position over Dyer Nurgazai. And he's wrenching on it. Dyer rolls over and gives up top position to Brenson Ribeiro. That's usually when the Kimura lock would be over. But then Dyer taps, and we see another angle, and Brenson's still wrenching on this fucking thing on top control. We have never seen this happen, man. A Kimura lock, this is the first time in history someone has ever tapped to a Kimura lock. And we got to be in the glory and the presence of this monumental moment. We got to see this happen live on camera. Someone tap out to a Kimura lock. We thought it was unheard of. We thought it was not possible, someone tapping out to a Kimura lock. You know, they're transitionary moves. Come on. Oh, Kimura lock? Oh, piss break. You know, it's something like that. You know, Kimura lock? Oh, well, 5 seconds go by. What's going to happen next? It's never, oh, I'm in a Kimura lock. I'm in a danger of getting tapped out right now. It just never crossed my mind. So maybe I have to reevaluate what I think of a Kimura lock. Because it happened again on this card, too. We saw 2 back-to-back Kimura lock submission wins. Truly, that might actually be a first of all time. And there was another first of all time. There was a first 2 back-to-back round 1 KO wins in women's MMA. That's the first of all time as well. So a lot of first of all times for this card. Damon Blackshear gets a submission win over Cody Gibson. I bet on this. This was a good pick, easy pick. A little dicey at the start. Cody Gibson nearly knocked out Damon Blackshear, but Damon Blackshear just, he wasn't warmed up enough. You know, when he got warm, he got the positions on the ground. He had him in submissions in the first round, had 2 attempts in the first round. Very close. Gets the submission in the second round. Good win for Damon Blackshear. Made my money there, so, yep. Kurt Hollabaugh, I thought the fucking scores were going to be a bit closer. A little bit closer, I thought. If we're going back and checking the stats here, Hollabaugh won at least one of these rounds. He should have won the second. Round, I think. They gave him the third, obviously. Like, Hernandez won the third, obviously, because 4.5 minutes of control time, can't really beat that. Hollabaugh should have clearly won these first, or maybe not the first two, but he should have won the second at least. It shouldn't have been a unanimous 30-27. I think Hollabaugh could have won this fight, and I don't think I'm crazy to think that. I think Hollabaugh was landing the better strikes early on in the fight, in the first and second round, and I don't think Hernandez was doing enough with his grappling that you actually have to weigh it in. Like, he didn't do anything with his 2 minutes of control time on the ground. He wasn't doing much with it. I think Hollabaugh could have won this fight. I was very surprised when it was the 30-27 unanimous decision. Because when I hear the 30-27, I'm like, okay, well, how the fuck would they give that to Hernandez? Like, I get he won the third round. There's a better argument for Hollabaugh getting a 30-27 than Hernandez, you know? Because you only have to argue one round for Hollabaugh. You only have to argue the third round for Hollabaugh to get a 30-27. You have to argue all three for Hernandez. Even though that third round for Hollabaugh, there would be a bad argument you'd have to make because he did not win that round. But a 30-27 is an abysmal scorecard. Just a terrible, terrible scorecard. I thought Hollabaugh should have won this fight. I thought it would have been a split. Shows how much I know. So then we got a nice underdog win in the co-main, Chidi and Jaquani versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. Chidi was just too big for him. I don't know what the line was. I don't know what the lines makers were seeing, man. This guy had like an 8-inch reach over Elizeu, a height advantage as well. Like, I don't know what they were seeing. Before the fight, Chidi was a plus 160. I had money on him there. After a round went by in this fight, after the first round of this fight, Chidi had already won the first round. It was a very convincing first round win, might I add. The first round, 23 total strikes to 9 for Chidi. Very clear first round win for Chidi. And he was a plus 175 on the scorecards after one round. After one round, he was a plus 175 on the... Let me paint this picture fully. Before the fight starts, he's a plus 160. After he wins a round of the fight, he's a plus 175? Does that make any sense? I got better odds on Chidi winning the fight after he won a round of the fight than I did before the fight started. So I slammed that, obviously. I had money on him before the fight. I had money on him after the first round. I doubled that shit down. And that paid out huge. Chidi got it done by finish. TKO win over Zaleski in the second round. Good win for him. This was free money. I have no idea what they were seeing in Zaleski. It doesn't make sense. So good win for Chidi. And we move on to the main event. Let me have a little spiel here. How many fouls are we... How many warnings? What are, like... At a certain point, what is the referee there for? You know? We saw Herb Dean stop the action before that second... Was the second round started? We saw him stop the action, and he gave Roman Dolidze a hard warning before that second round started. And not 10 seconds after... Not 10 seconds after this hard warning, he instantly pokes the eye of Vettori the way Herb Dean told him not to. You know, he's leading with his hands. He's fucking hand fighting with his hands like this. Herb said if you're going to hand fight like this. Don't hand fight like this. And he's still doing it. He had 2 eye pokes in one round, no point deduction. And then later in the fight, a low blow and another eye poke, both in the 5th round. At a certain point, what is the referee there for? You know? They're there to enforce the rules. Like, Herb Dean just keeps saying, don't bring me into this. Don't bring me into this. Let's have a clean fight. Don't bring me into this. They brought you into this. He's fouled him 4 times at this point. What are you talking about, don't bring you into this? He brought you into this when he fouled you 4 times. You know, it's now your job to come in and enforce the rules. You can take a point if it's egregious enough. And I think it was egregious. 4 fucking fouls. People are acting like this was a fucking stunning performance from Roman Dolidze. Like he didn't have 3 eye pokes and a low blow. With no point deduction. And I get 49-46, you know, if he lost a point for the eye poke in the second round, and if he got a point in the fifth round, it's a lot closer as well. And you also have to factor in Vettori might know he's down on the scorecards. And if a point's on the table, like if they give him a point, or take away a point from Dolidze, should I say, that might give him more motivation to throw a bit more in the fight, to think he's still in the fight. But instead, he's just getting fouled and just getting battered, and nothing's happening about it. And it's like, well, he might have lost the fight anyways. We won't know. We don't know. Now we just have to accept this reality where Roman Dolidze gets to win a fight after fouling someone 4 times with no fucking repercussions. It's terrible. I hate when a fight ends like this, and it's not even just this one, man. It's been main events recently. I don't know what's going on with these main events recently, but like Manel Kape Almabayev, I mean, I was celebrating it. I was having my fun, but it was like an eye poke. It was like they both were poking each other. Nothing much happened about it. Another instance, you can go back even farther, and there was the really egregious one. Song Yadong won a fight because of it. Like, fighters are winning fights because of fouling. Song Yadong had his fucking fingers halfway into Cejudo's eye socket, man. Like, to the whatever you call it there. This is getting bad. I'm going to do a whole video on this, but this is getting bad, man. This is getting to the point where if you want to win a fight, you might as well kick him in the nuts in the first round. You might as well poke him in the eye in the first or second, because then he won't be able to see the rest of the time. And if you only poke him once, you're not going to lose a point. They should have, if it's a bad enough eye poke, you should instantly lose a point. If it's one bad eye poke, I don't think there needs to be a hard warning. If the first eye poke has their fucking finger to like the nub in his fucking eyeball, take a point. Take a point, man. Because he can't see anymore. Because he has half his vision now. After, like, not Marvin per se, but Cejudo did, Marvin got eye poked many times in this fight. Who knows the amount of vision he had going into the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. I'm just saying, these fouls changed the fights, and I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick of referees just being like, don't bring me into this. That's your fucking job. You're in there. You're in the cage. Do it. Do your job. Take a point. Enforce the fucking rules. It's sad. Anyways, Dolidze calls out Imavov. He calls out Israel Adesanya. Make either of those, or he calls out Whitaker and he calls out Israel Adesanya. Make either of those matchups and I'll pick against Dolidze again. Cannot wait. Same time next week. Roman Dolidze still terrible. Still don't like him. Anyways, that's the recap. Hope you guys liked the picks, the recap. Had some fun, made some money. I made 6.5 betting units in the Discord, so we had 3 bets total. Let me recap those before I go. We had 3 bets total. Dubin moneyline, I think, was one of them. It was either Dubin moneyline or Dubin KO. So that one lost, obviously. Had 2 units on that, so we're down 2. I had 2 units on Vajeos round 1 KO. That returned 4 units or something like that. 4.5 units maybe. And then I had 2 units on Blackshear by submission. Boom chakalaka. Boom, 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 boom. We're up 6.5 units on the card. Let's go. Anyways, that's the breakdown. That's the recap. We'll be back here for the Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards fight night very soon. So look out for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.